this song to welcome you to my channel. I might have all these lost wages, but I'm more than a gamble. I hope you check it out. I hope you don't leave. I'm like a serial addict, hiding tricks up my sleeve. So take a look around. If you like it, subscribe, cause I don't need to rob a theater to steal the spotlight. Click the red button. I'm at least worth a try. Don't let me near your spices, cause I'm rapping all the time. I'm rapping all the time.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the SPADE Life podcast. I'd like to introduce a very special guest today. You go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi there, my name is Guastafson. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I just kind of do vlogs, stand-up stories in the form of vlogs and musical comedy.
Very interesting. So since you do stand-up, what exactly brought you to YouTube?
Well, I was just kind of thinking that YouTube is a good marketing thing, just to get my stuff out there to more people. But I've been more gravitated towards YouTube lately because I actually got fired at my job from a comedy club. So now YouTube's kind of like my only platform. So I'm just kind of stuck here for now, but it keeps me motivated, keeps me writing and stuff, so it's not all bad.
How long were you at that comedy club before they let you go?
I worked there for probably 6 months or something like that, but I was doing stand-up for a lot longer. And honestly, you get to know people there, and everyone's in the same boat, and everyone has, similar senses of humor, so you get to know everybody. So it was kind of like, I didn't even know that I was doing anything wrong. I didn't know that, that was a place that I could get fired from. So, little tight-knit group.
So what exactly did you do wrong?
Well, I don't think I did anything wrong. But what happened, their excuse was different than, the reason. So when I got fired, basically they told me that I at the end of every shift, I'm supposed to lock the front door at a certain time. And during this one shift, no one told me the door was not supposed to be locked at one time, so I locked it as usual. And when I came into work the next day, they were telling me, oh, this is, you're not supposed to do this. There has to be more autonomy from you at this point. So we're letting you go. But I think, they were blatantly clear that was just more of an excuse than the real reason, because up until that point, nobody was making eye contact with me. Nobody was looking at me or even talking to me at work. Because a week prior, I did a stand-up story on stage at open mic. And I said a word that just upset the entire club.
And what was that word?
Well, I called myself retarded. And I understand it's a little more PC culture nowadays, but people were throwing around much worse words in the club that night. I've never been told that was not an okay word. I grew up with that word. I don't know if you're the same. Do you feel the same way?
I say that word at least 10 times a day.
And sometimes you don't even think about it. You just say it without even, it just becomes part of the language. But apparently it was a big deal, and it upset a lot of people for an entire week, and then they just kind of picked up the next excuse to get rid of me, I guess.
That's kind of a really, that word in particular, that's kind of a dumb reason to get upset.
You think so, right? But they said, maybe ask why it is hate speech. And I thought that was taking it to the next level, but I can't, I'm not the manager, so...
So technically...
Rip my comedy career.
Technically, were you hate speeching yourself?
Is it discrimination or hate speech if you're referring to yourself? I don't think so, but...
What if you actually thought at the moment that you were retarded?
What if I identified as retard?
then they're kind of discriminating.
I agree.
Maybe.
Yeah, what's the cutoff, right?
Maybe.
I don't know, but especially because they're not allowed to diagnose anybody as retarded anymore. It's no longer a diagnosis because more people have adopted that word as a derogatory term. So what they do, it's mentally challenged, or there's a lot of different. It goes off into different branches depending on the disability, but nobody is literally retarded. So I would like to defend myself and just say that mentally challenged people are not retarded, because retarded is just an insult now. So I think they're the assholes in the end.
I
Sorry, are we allowed to say bad words?
You're allowed to say whatever you want to say.
Okay, I just had to make that clear.
Yeah. This is a speech-free environment where you can say whatever you want.
That's what I thought at the comedy club too, and I got fired for saying retard. So
if you say the wrong word, don't worry, I will fire you.
Okay.
So
all right, good to have that warning.
So far,
I'll watch myself though.
So far, you're good. So enough of the sadness of that. Let's dive into other things.
So, yeah, I like that.
So do you have any future type plans for YouTube, or going back to
future
comedy
type
clubs?
Plans? How do people normally answer that question? What's the future type plan for YouTube?
Do you plan on making a ton of more content, like on a more frequent basis, or?
Yeah, well, my current schedule is new videos every Tuesday, and it's really not on like a set schedule where I know what I'm going to post the week prior. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to film until that day. But if I don't like it during the week, like I have this bad habit where I'll film something and then I like put it together and I'll edit it and I say, oh, I forgot to say this one thing, or this isn't funny, and I'll just completely scrap it and do something else. But yeah, I do new videos every Tuesday. Sometimes it's musical comedy, and sometimes it's just stand-up stuff, and sometimes it's just kind of impromptu.
So, about the musical stuff, like, how long does that normally take you to come up with a complete, like, musical comedy song?
I guess it all starts with, it takes a lot for me to get inspired. I have an entire repertoire of songs that I wrote, and I realize that they're garbage, and they will never see the light of day. But I know something is going to become a song when I'm writing the lyrics and it comes out, the melody kind of reveals itself. So it can take anywhere between like a week and like a night. But I don't know, it depends on how much, like, does it mean something to me, or am I just kind of like raging out and just writing down my thoughts?
Do you have any kind of like comedy people that you look up to?
Comedy people. I guess my answers aren't that varied from anyone else's answer. I mean, there's like the classic, Carlin, because he had like this awesome wordplay thing that he did. And, despite the controversy, I do like Louis' delivery, whether or not he's rapey now. But I think the biggest one was just Tim Minchin. Because he did the whole musicality thing and, did it in these grand arenas and just kind of combined, I know he's not the most original person to have done, combined music and comedy, but he's definitely the one I grew up with watching, and I think he caused the most inspiration. Okay,
back about Louis. Like you said, now that he's rapey now, I'm pretty sure he was rapey before. And we all still liked him, so I think it's still okay to like him now.
Right, it's come out now. I mean, he's been rapey this whole time, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't make him unfunny. Like, you can give me the best sandwich I've ever had in my life, and you can tell me, like, well, did you know that Hitler made that sandwich? It's still a damn good sandwich.
Wow. I didn't know you were going to go with Hitler. That's the word of the day.
Hitler! Heil.
I should have had music playing back then.
can edit in post-production, who knows?
That is true. I have to edit this anyway. But what is your beef with Bo Burnham?
Oh my goodness, that's such a loaded... It's like you did your research. Ooh.
I did, kinda. I feel dirty now that I did research.
No, that's perfectly acceptable. Okay, well, it's a joke between my friends. Like, everyone knows, like, I want to phrase this as accurately as I'm thinking it. So I'm kind of stammering right now. It's not that I hate Bo Burnham. It's just that if I saw him on the street, I would fight him. Like, okay, no, it's like he's taking over my life, and that's the joke between me and my friends, is that he shows up in places that, like, I don't even imagine. Like, so I guess it all started when I posted my first musical comedy song, and I had no idea what his name was, and so all I saw in the comments was, reminds me of Bo Burnham, reminds me of Bo Burnham. And then I was like, that's weird. And then as I kept posting, you know, I kept getting the same comments, like, wow, this is like Bo Burnham. And then, you know, everyone gets hate comments now and then, so occasionally I would get the comment that said, I just couldn't get into it, I don't like it because this is Bo Burnham's style. It's like she's, like, writing on Bo Burnham's style. And I don't like that he's elevated to this point where it's like he owns the genre when there are so many musical comedians who came before him. But, you know, his fan base is young and they don't, you know, all I know is him. He's like a young, hip, you know, swoopy-haired guy, and he's more relatable than an old man singing funny songs, right? So they see him and they're like, oh, this is Bo Burnham. The funny in music is, like, his thing only. So it's not really like, you know, Bo Burnham himself. It's just like what he's elevated to and the fact that he's trying to take over my life. I was stalking an ex-boyfriend's Facebook page one time, and my best friend and I were just, like, talking shit about high school people. So I went on to my ex-boyfriend's Facebook file, like, what's he up to? I see a picture of him standing next to Bo Burnham, and I'm like, God damn it, what? You go away!
He stole your ex-boyfriend.
Right.
Wow. Alright.
He just pops his face up in, like, all these places that I just don't even expect, and it's like he's following me.
That's crazy. So, how much traction so far have you seen yourself getting, like, on views and things?
I hear some laughter in the background.
Yes, that's my son. Don't worry about him.
Cute. Well, I guess it depends on the video. I don't get as many views as I do, when I post spoken word stuff and stand-up material, I really don't get as many views, but I do use that as an excuse to post more regularly, and a lot of my subscribers do click on them, but I think my most successful videos will always be the musical comedy, because that's what most of my subscribers, you know, subscribe to in the first place. So sometimes when I post, like, just stand-up material, they're just like, what is this shit? I didn't, you know, get on board. I didn't sign up for this. I've definitely grown my YouTube channel. When I started, I think I had, like, 180 subscribers that were just there, didn't really interact, or you probably even know that they were subscribed. And now I'm up to 275, which is, you know, it's a climb for only doing this for half a year.
That was my next question. I was going to ask, how long have you been doing it?
Well, I didn't post regularly until 2 months ago, to be honest. And I wanted to. It's just I wanted to only post my best stuff, and I know my best stuff is my music. But I just can't come up with a new song every week. It's just not possible. I don't have, the world isn't that exciting. There's not enough to write about, you know?
That's a quick way to get burnt out also.
Yeah. I like writing music. It's just not physically possible. I need to be inspired. Where's the inspiration?
It's in Bo Burnham's pocket.
Oh, well, Bo Burnham. Oh. Every time I hear that name, I get this, someone came up to me after a set one time, and they're like, wow, I can see a lot of Bo Burnham in you. And I know it was a compliment, because he's like the god of musical comedy, I guess. But, like, I had such a bitch face reaction. Like, I had this look on my face that I looked like I wanted to tear the guy's head off, and I couldn't control it. It was just my instinct to, like, hate that name. So he's like, oh, you remind me of Bo Burnham. And I just scowled. And he totally didn't deserve it, because he didn't know. He didn't know that I hate that name.
So tell me about, like, your actual life outside of everything. Like, where are you from?
I grew up in Southern California. I'm now living in Oregon. My life outside of the channel, that's going to go back into the sad stuff, really, because I lost the job.
That's what we want to hear.
What now?
I said that's what we want to hear, the sad stuff.
The sad stuff. Give the viewers what they want. Nice sob story. I lost the job, and I'm really, like, I haven't been getting back on my feet. It was pretty, it's relatively recently. But right now, I'm just kind of, I'm pretty much like a housewife. Like, I just kind of cook and clean and, casually look for jobs, and I look at them, and I just have this disgust in my heart. And I just can't imagine even, getting anything besides, the job that I just lost, which I loved. So everything else just by comparison looks like trash. So, I'm just trying to get in the habit of, getting a routine again, and, just taking care of my mental health, because that's more important than anything.
So, like, are you an actual housewife, or are you just kind of like a housewife?
Well, kind of. I mean, I'm living with my boyfriend, and, he's kind of like the breadwinner right now. So, yeah, I kind of am a housewife without, like, a commitment.
See, that's like a comedian housewife. That has to be some good times.
Well, do you consider, like, good times just kind of, like, picking up after your mans, or?
Yeah,
it's just kind of like my existence right now. It's kind of, like, funny in the sense that, like, I would never have been a housewife if it were up to me. See, which I'm working on.
You, like, pick up after your mans, but then you, like, tell a funny joke.
Yeah, there we go. So there's humor in everything, I guess.
Yeah. There's humor in every room you clean.
There's humor in every room I clean. There's a lot of disgusting stuff in every room I clean.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny, right?
My life is a tragic. What do they say? Tragic comedy. What do they call that?
Traumedy.
Oh, is that what? Oh, that was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, I like that word.
Your life is a traumedy. So, like, is there many clubs for you to apply to there, or is it just the one?
That's the thing. Yeah, I know, because I don't live in, like, Portland, where all the, hip stuff is, where all the young people are. I live in Salem, and that's, there's no culture in Salem.
Well, there's rich.
The only club, the only comedy club in Salem is where I worked. Now the rest, there are bars that do comedy, have comedy nights, but they're not comedy clubs, and they're 21 plus, and I won't be 21 for a while. So, losing, like, the job was just like the ultimate traumedy, because it wasn't just the job, it was like the opportunity to perform, and all of my friends, so if I wanted to do work at a club again, I would have to, drive like an hour and a half to Portland, or be 21 first, which obviously I can't do right now, so That's how the concept of time works, in case you were wondering.
Well, when you speak of culture in Salem, isn't the culture there witchcraft?
Massachusetts, yeah. I think that's what the city was named after, actually. But don't let the name mislead you. We're actually very boring. We're totally just devoid of all anything interesting.
No witchcraft in one comedy club. That's sad.
I know. At least like the witchcraft would, that might spark some interesting museum ideas or something.
Yeah. Then
but no,
we're
just the Capitol. There's like a big Capitol building where all the rich white people work.
All right. So you said you're not 21 yet. How old are you?
I am 20 right now.
Oh, you're almost there.
I am, and there's only there's a few months. I'll be 21 in June, but when I got fired, it was longer ago. So
how long ago did you get fired?
I got fired in March, the beginning of March. So I'm just kind of been in purgatory ever since.
All right. So, comedy, that's your life, and YouTube is kind of like the rebirth of that since you got fired.
You could say that. That's appropriate.
Do you plan on continuing YouTube once you find a new club to go to?
I think I will, just because I do have people who consistently comment. So there are people who watch me and they like me and they participate. And it's always good to have your name out there, besides where you immediately are. So I do think it's a good, it's good for at least marketing, if not anything else.
Yeah. Do you have like consistent people who always come to your channel, or do you like promote it in any certain type of way?
I try to promote it everywhere I possibly can. Honestly, they say to always, try Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and where your friends are, because your friends will always click on your stuff. Nope, that's not true. Facebook friends do not give a shit what you do after high school. So it's not a good place to advertise. So where I advertise is pretty much everywhere else. I actually have more luck with strangers than I do anybody that I know. And I do have consistent people who I don't know actually commenting, and that feels really nice, to have a little army of, I don't know, the Ann clan just following me around.
You already gave them a name?
Oh, I think I just made that up right now, honestly.
All right.
I don't think it'll catch on. I don't think it should.
It might. You never know. It's kind of catchy.
Yeah. Ann's fam. Yeah. Ann's fam? Ann clan? I don't know.
It'll catch on. Don't worry. There are weirder things that I've caught on, so I'm pretty sure.
Do you have a name for your fan base?
I do not. Not yet. I haven't thought of anything. I'm not sure what goes with SPADE.
SPADE. Oof. Yeah, that's the good thing about Anna. It's just such a bland name. It just you hear it and everything. That's why I call myself Comedian, because it's just so easy. Yeah. SPADE's so specific and sharp, Maybe SPADE's enough. Maybe your name's enough to catch on, man.
Maybe. Well, it is the channel's called Spade Life, so maybe I can call them lifers. That sounds kind of weird.
Okay. We'll work on it. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Oh, good. The key to good parenting. Bribery.
Hey, bribery is the best thing with children.
I don't judge anybody on how they raise their kids. If bribery is what works, damn it, do it.
It also works with some adults.
Oh yeah, no, you can get anybody to do anything if you just offer them food.
I know. Trust me, I know. I don't want to get into the details, but I know. I've seen some things.
Seen some things. Ooh, that sounds like there's some story behind it.
There might be, but we're interviewing you right now.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Way to pivot. I like it.
I'm very good at aversion. So, let's hear about a time you were bribed with food.
Oh, no, I don't fall for that trick.
Darn. I thought we could turn it around on you.
Ooh. No, bribed with food. No, I mean, I'm the briber because I know that. You know, I know that trick.
No, it's your trick to use on people then.
Mm-hmm. It'll probably work on my kids too, who knows?
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of stuff now.
No worries.
I don't normally get as distracted as I have been today. It's a weird day.
Oh, yeah, I totally understand.
I usually have a buffer who keeps my son at bay while I do this. But she's at work right now, so lucky me.
Oh, no.
Give me some questions. No, that's not how this works.
Well, here, let's turn this around on you. Wow. So what's your greatest weakness?
I care too much.
That's a good. So why do you want this job?
Because it makes money and I can sit at home and do it. That's basically it.
Okay. Yeah, everyone wants to just sit home and make money. That would be the life. I could just never leave.
Yeah, that's the dream right there, to just sit at home and have money come to you. And all you have to do is talk into a microphone.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah, that's.
When did you decide to interview smaller channels?
Well, because number one, I'm a smaller channel, and there's no possible way that any bigger YouTubers will pay attention to me.
Yeah, well, work your way up. Maybe one of us will get famous, and we'll remember you.
Maybe, but also because no one ever hears the smaller YouTubers. They're like, I go on the Facebook groups all the time, and like you see people post their videos, and no one pays attention to that, even though that's the point of the Facebook groups. It's for it's for support, and we're supposed to support each other, but that never happens. So I figure if I can get smaller YouTubers on different platforms, then different people could hear them, and it'll get more exposure for them, while also getting more exposure for myself.
Yeah, it goes both ways, because especially people who. The advertisement is kind of in the person, because a lot of the times, the YouTuber will show their friends who, want to watch them. Not in my case, because Facebook is useless. And that's kind of that's the sucky part about, being a small YouTuber and trying to promote, is because, the only place you really can promote your stuff, where people are going to see it, are places where people are only interested in posting. Yeah. They don't want to watch other people's stuff. They came here to advertise their own stuff. So it's just kind of it's just a vicious cycle.
That is true. I find that on Facebook, like if I post it on my regular page, most people on Facebook just want to see how sad you are. Like,
see how sad you are? Like what? Like sad puppy videos and veterans coming home?
No, like they want to hear you complain as much as they complain on there.
Oh, give me something to complain about. I'll complain about anything.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of complaints.
That's all what Facebook wants to hear. Like all the people on there who add you, they just want to see if you became successful or if you're down there where they are.
Down there. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of the. I don't delete people specifically for that reason, because I just want to compare my life to them. I want to see how fat that they got, or how miserable they are. That's the fun part. It's just everybody who you kind of knew. It's kind of okay, so we started at the same place. Where are we at now?
Yeah.
Am I better than you yet?
That should be the slogan of Facebook. It's Facebook. Let's compare how sad we are.
Yeah. Facebook. Am I better than you yet?
Am I better than you now? Nope, maybe in 5 years.
Oh. Do you know anybody who's gotten successful from that you used to know?
That I used to know, like in life?
Or, that you just kind of still have lingering on Facebook?
Not technically successful, but like, no, the answer is no. No.
Technically, no.
Everybody's
me
still
neither.
sad.
No, everybody I know is garbage too. I totally understand.
They're still all sad and complain all the time.
Yeah. I had to block every single one of my comedian friends, just because it was kind of like a clean, shedding of just the toxicity that was within the comedy community. And also because I wanted to post, the comedy set that got me fired, and just do my thoughts on that. But I didn't want some of them finding it and sending it to the boss, and then just having them comment on it or something like, "And you were just incompetent" or something like that.
Wow.
It was kind of a sad thing where you just kind of have to like mass block everybody. Yeah. I've never done that before in my life. I've never been involved in any kind of drama, but it was just so many people were involved in the whole comedy thing. Like now half of my Facebook is just like devoid. Like everybody's gone. There's no activity on my feed anymore.
Yeah. Well, can't you like add all them back after a while, after you're done with your grievances?
Yeah, in theory, absolutely I could. I just don't like them. It's just like a whole group of people are just not who I thought that they were. And they just hold this grudge against me for, just saying this word that, is in my experience completely A-okay in a stand-up comedy setting. But I guess not in this one in particular.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Have you ever gotten in trouble for saying something like that? Or not like that, but anything?
Not really. Like, I've never worked at a place that was like, I've worked at a lot of like factories and warehouses, so there's like, say whatever you want because they're all old grumpy men anyway. So never really gotten in trouble for saying bad words. Well, actually, I still don't think that retarded is a bad word. So
see, yeah, that's so funny. Like everything, everybody I told in the story to, the first response was obviously the easy, "That's retarded," and so that gave me like a lot of confidence back. I'm like, you know what? That is retarded. They actually had me convinced for a while. Just the way that they explained it to me, I was like, wow, like, is this something that I didn't know? Like, is it the new N-word or something like that? I just thought it was just, like, the most horrible word just because of the way that they described it. It's hate speech. And I thought I was the only person in the world who just didn't catch on. And so, I was questioning my whole life for a second. And then, after further research, I was like, you know what? Fuck me for even apologizing. That was just, uncalled for. So you live in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever been to like the clubs there?
I have not. I just recently moved back here because I was in Arizona, but I have not visited any clubs here at the moment.
Have you ever done stand-up or been in a comedy club?
No, I haven't. I'm not sure if like I have the guts to stand in front of people and try and be funny.
Really? But you can on a podcast, okay?
I know, it's weird. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just a group thing. I'm not.
Okay, the internet's more anonymous, so yeah. I totally understand.
I can hide my face.
Right. It's the safe way to go, but still show off your talents without having to just, be in front of too many people.
Also, I'm not quite sure how funny I am. So that could be a thing also.
Well, you always got to start somewhere, Like, we've laughed a few times in this podcast, so
yeah, but
there's humor going on.
Was that more of you or me?
Well, if you ask me, I'm always going to say I'm always gonna say me. Come on now, but humor is something you gotta build on, and that's just like the initial thing. I've always tried way too hard to be funny, and that's not a good thing. Never try to be anything. Never try to be funny, because you can tell when somebody's trying to be funny.
Yeah. Well, this guy that I work with at my gym, he did tell me that he knows some promotioners who run some clubs downtown. So I figure there's a couple comedy clubs downtown.
In Michigan, oh yeah, I'll bet there is, probably.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of good ones. I bet they're a lot more lax on, the language policing there too.
Yeah, probably. And they have a lot of open nights, he said. Well, open mics.
That's what I get for doing comedy in the where am I? Northwest area.
So
we're just so, what are the things of the stereotypes of the Portland kind of Oregon area, and that did you just assume my gender? Like, that's us. That's everybody here.
So, like, you were getting paid to do comedy there, or did you do extra stuff, or?
I have only been paid for one gig in my life, and when I showed up, they didn't pay me. So, I mean, technically, I'm not a paid comedian. I almost was, but that just never happened. And I was too, embarrassed to be like, can I have the $15 that you promised me? It was just, who does that, it's $15,
Hey,
I'm not going to approach them for my, stupid $15. So, I've never really been paid for comedy. I don't get paid for my YouTube channel. And now I need to get paid for something, because I don't have no job.
I think we all need to get paid for our YouTube channels.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even mind, just posting it for free. I just wish that I had something, because the YouTube part makes me happy. I just wish that I had something, to my rock, on the side to keep me, elevated enough so I can go home and do the stuff that I like.
Yeah. We all need that rock sometimes.
Right.
And not the drug.
I am working on an album where I'm trying to put together all of the songs that I've ever written, and just produce them in an actually well produced format. So I've just invested in a camera. I don't know how my microphone sounds right now. Might be garbage, but I invested in a Blue Yeti, little snowball. So I'm just trying to up the production value, especially recently. And just overall, maybe that's something that I don't even know if that's something my subscribers are going to be interested in at all. But I do want to have something physical, that I can actually maybe I can sell on iTunes or something like that, or merch. But that's kind of more down the line, anyways.
I mean, the better the product is, the more people, come to see it. So it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Wouldn't hurt anything.
It's at least good to have it out there. Because all I have are just, my earliest song is still up there, which is, what was it, 420 pixels just in the dark on a couch. It's just poorly lit, just a piece of garbage. And yet, that's a really, that got a lot of, the views on that are still growing, shockingly enough, even though the production value is that of, 2008.
That tells you that what you said on there was strong enough to bypass how good the quality of the video was.
Oh, that's a nice way to look at it. That's so nice it's a nice thought.
Yeah.
I like to think so, especially now that I'm upping. It's so funny because even my more recent videos don't get nearly that many views. So maybe I gotta stop doing what I'm doing. Maybe I gotta throw out my ring light and throw out the Blue Yeti and just keep doing iPhone videos in the dark.
Go back to the couch.
Yeah.
You'll go back to where you started, and you'll grow so fast that you won't.
To my roots. Yeah.
It's all about the roots.
What's the key to making things shareable?
What do you mean?
There's a whole algorithm of things that make things I don't know, make more people watch them. Some things I don't know what I did wrong, and some things I just have no idea what I did right.
Girl, if I knew the secret to that.
We're all YouTubers here. We gotta share secrets, right?
If only I knew that secret, I would gladly tell you. I'm still waiting to find out that secret on accident somehow.
The secret is you should have joined YouTube in 2006 like everybody else.
Yes, when it started, when everything was crap.
Yeah, when I was 10. That's when I should have started.
Yes. I'm so mad that I missed out on the start of the whole thing.
Me too. I feel the same way. You know, everybody who's big now started years ago, and they're still going so strong. You know, if only we could go back in time, because you know, either that or we need an entirely new platform, because YouTube's fucked, man. Yeah. It is fucked. It's gone.
Like when Vine came out, I was like, whatever. And then it started getting big, and then I tried to get on at the end, and then it just died. I was like, crap, why didn't I get on this at the beginning?
Oh, I know. You know, I never even had a Vine account to even spectate on. And I regret that especially because, you know, people told me, I remember when it was out, I was in high school, everyone was like, Ann, you have to start making Vines. Like, you'd be so good on Vine. I was like, nah. I don't know why I didn't do that. I just didn't care. And then it blew up, and now these people, like, friggin' Liza Koshy's worth millions of dollars. And now she's just doing her own thing. And then, they didn't put ads on their videos, or they just let everything leak. So, I don't think I've ever seen a single Vine video on Vine. Every Vine video I've ever seen is because I saw it on YouTube or something else. So something was wrong, you know, obviously. So I guess that just led to their downfall. Whoopsie daisy.
That's crazy. If only we can jump on things. We should start a platform, that way we're there at the beginning. And then hopefully it'll grow.
What we need is another Vine.
That is true. There was one that said it was going to be another Vine. It's called Cheese, but I don't think it's going anywhere.
Cheese?
Cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah. Like cheese.
So it's how similar to Vine? Is it like just the same, like what, 7-second clip kind of thing?
It's like 7. I think it's like maybe 8-second clips, but it didn't catch on. It was like a lot. You saw a lot of the old Viners like come on it for a second, and then it just kind of slowly dripped off.
Ooh. How long ago was it? Was it a tiny trend?
Like 5 months ago.
Oh, I'm sure it's gone. I'm sure it's dead.
Yeah, because
trends don't last that long.
People kept hearing about Vine 2 coming out, so I think that's what they're waiting on.
Oh, okay. When do you think that's coming out?
Never. It's just it'll
never get done.
It's a myth to get everybody's hopes up. That's all it is.
You think?
Yeah. It's just like Kingdom Hearts 3, which will never come out either.
What the hell is Kingdom Hearts 3?
You don't know what Kingdom Hearts 3 is? It's the best video game in the world.
If it was the best video game in the world, I would have heard about it.
No. You were too busy doing comedy. You missed
out.
Wait,
so is that like... Oh, is it like the Disney kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite video game?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 2, or 1? I don't know.
Probably Kingdom Hearts 1. I had a lot of memories with that video game.
When did it come out?
Oh, God. I was like... I think I was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
It was back PlayStation 2, so...
PS2.
Might have been a freshman in high school.
Interesting. What's your favorite kind of video game?
I like
genre?
RPG kind of adventure games. I like something with a story behind it.
Okay. Have you played... Everyone's played The Last of Us. Have you played The Last of Us?
That is an awesome game.
I remember, like, my first time playing that game, I cried. It was the story. Naughty Dog they're such good storytellers. I love Naughty Dog.
I still play that game to this day, so...
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I replayed that game probably 100 times.
Yeah.
And now I'm playing the online version, where it's kind of like Call of Duty, except, Last of Us kind of style combat. And I'm like addicted. It is a problem. Like some nights when I couldn't sleep, I have thought about getting out of bed and just turning on the PS4 and just start playing Last of Us online.
I mean, hey, if you need somebody to play with, just hit me up.
Do you play that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I probably will add you. I'm on my boyfriend's account because I don't have my own PS4 or anything like that, and he's the one who pays for the online thing. So I probably will end up adding you.
Do it so we can play and kill stuff.
Let's see.
Also, if you have,
I love Capcom. Like I hate Capcom. Like it's Crapcom, but I love Capcom. Do you ever play like the Resident Evil games?
Yeah, I just played the newest one.
The RE7?
Yeah, the one that they made into 3D, into VR. And I thought it was pretty good. It was a pretty good game.
Did you actually do the VR version with like the goggles?
No, but I still want to. I just played the regular version of it, but I still want to get a VR so I just want a VR.
Really? I can't even play first person because it makes me throw up.
See,
like, it boggles my mind. I don't know why, but I cannot do. Also, I can't set games to 60 frames a second because I don't know why, but it gives me a headache. I don't think that my brain even processes things at 60 frames a second. So when I see a game like just so HD that's 60, I can't. I have to go back to like, I have to like the lowest quality possible, and then I'm fine. But I can't even do I can't do first person. I can't do 60 frames a second. I'm just not caught up with the rest of the world. It makes me feel old.
What are you gonna do when everything's ultra 4K?
I'm just gonna play RE4 for the rest of my life. I'm just not gonna play anything new. I can't. My brain can't handle it. This is where, eventually, how like old people get left behind because, there comes a point in everybody's life where they just stop following stuff and they stop learning new things. This is the point in history where I'm just going to be left behind. I can't go any further as far as technology goes. I can't learn anything new. I know everything that I'm ever going to know.
I don't believe that.
That's a 20-year-old thing to say, by the way.
I don't believe that because my grandma's like 70-something and she still plays her PS4 every day.
That's so cute. I love that.
So I don't.
Does she reach out? Does she have like a headset and like Call of Duty and she's like, "Heal me, you cocks!"
I don't know about all that, but that would be hilarious to see.
I like to think that your grandma's just yelling at 12-year-olds on Call of Duty.
Now I like to think that. That's kind of. I'm gonna ask her. Does she do that?
Do you know what game she plays? You don't watch this? Because I would love to watch a grandma play PS4.
She lives in Chicago, so I don't get many chances to watch her play. But I know she used to play like Road Rash and any game where you can hit people with stuff.
Oh my god. Like GTA 5?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's adorable. I wish my grandma was that cool. Well, I do have a grandma who's damn cool, but she doesn't play video games. She just makes really good, actually everything. She gave me some, like, homemade, like, liqueur. Like, this bitch makes alcohol. And it's, like, damn good.
That's kind of cool.
I'm gonna be 21 soon enough, so I'm just planning for the future. What's gonna be my drink of choice?
Yeah, I say vodka. Go with vodka.
Vodka's like the base thing, that's what everybody.
But you can mix everything in the vodka.
Right, yeah, it's diverse, okay? It's just straightforward, it's just plain, it's just basic, throat stinging liquid.
Yeah. It's like water, but it burns.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, Yeah, and if it's like really cheap stuff, it's just Purell, basically, right? It's just like doing a Purell shot.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
That's
You just started the next YouTube trend. First it was cinnamon, and then it was setting yourself on fire, then it was snorting condoms. Now it's gonna be taking shots of Purell.
Oh, ooh, don't say that. Someone's gonna hear it and it's gonna catch on, and it's gonna be our fault.
Do it. I want it to happen.
Let natural selection take its course. Just let 12-year-olds just get wasted on Purell shots.
Just like all the people who used to eat the Tide Pods. Let them drink Purell.
Oh. Did the Tide Pod thing actually kill anybody, or was that just like a thing that got a bunch of kids' stomach pumped?
I think it got a lot of kids' stomach pumped. I'm not sure if it killed anybody. It might have maimed some people, but I don't think it killed anybody.
I saw a news thing, and it was like inside of a courtroom where everybody, I guess it was moms or moms of victims or something like that, and they were holding up the Tide Pods, and they were like yelling at the jury, and they're like, "This looks like candy. It is screaming, eat me." I'm like, no, it's not. But they were so passionate about, like, this looks like candy. You know, it looks like dishwasher detergent, and you should keep it away from your kid's reach, is what you should do.
A lot of things look like candy, but you still shouldn't eat them.
Yeah, is it about the attention? I mean, I get that kids don't, the whole brain development thing, consequences aren't as dire to a 12-year-old as they are to, like, a 30-year-old, but, I mean, when I was 12, I distinctly remember, like, thinking, I don't want to risk dying.
It's not worth it. I know I'm 12, but it's just not worth it.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the first thing that your parents teach you is, like, don't eat that, yeah?
Yeah. Or don't
eat
that.
Don't eat that. Or don't what?
Don't drink that.
Yeah, right. Just don't ingest things that just obviously aren't food.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you learn. But I don't know.
It's basic
I'm glad
nature.
that it's over, but it's still jokeable.
Yeah. Apparently, if my son's TV show goes off, he goes crazy.
Oh no! What, did like the power go out or something?
No,
or, like,
the episode just went off.
Oh, it's just that the show ended. It's just the world is ending.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're a kid, like, that is your world. Like, the TV is your world. When that shit turns off.
No, but
goodbye. Like,
the bad part is he has an iPad that's right in front of him also, which he can control and turn on the same show.
Isn't that so crazy that kids have iPads, like, and just know how to use them?
Yeah.
Do you remember having your first phone and just thinking that, like, the Razor was the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, I remember that. And what's sad is I was like 17 when that happened, and it amazed me.
Oh my goodness.
And he's like...
the good old days, man, were just, technology was simple, and you can't... Oof.
That was even before we had internet on the phone. It was just a phone, and you could text people.
Right, yeah. And, like, the coolest thing about it was that the coolest phone that I remember ever having was the fact that I could slide it. It was like a touch screen, but it was like pre-iPhone touch screen. So it just kind of vibrated really heavily every time you pressed a button. And you could just flip it out, and it would be like a keyboard that you held sideways. I don't even know how to explain it. But it was like, looking back now, like, it would go in the recycling bin. Like, people would recycle garbage like that. But it was the coolest thing. And people used to ask, like, wow, where did you get that phone? Like, that's such a cool phone. And, like, little did we know that, like, 2-year-olds would be using iPads just not even 5 years later.
I'm going to give up how old I am and say when I got my first phone, it didn't even have a camera on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my very first phone had a camera on it. How old are you now?
I'm 31 right now.
Okay. So you got your first phone at 17?
Yeah.
And no camera.
No camera.
Oh my gosh.
It was just a regular old
I
flip
feel like
phone.
a fetus now.
You technically are a fetus.
That's technically,
Yeah,
sure.
Just technically.
I'm okay with that. I'm used to it.
You're technically a fetus. That should be the name of someone's channel. Technically fetus.
Technically, that sounds like a pretty cool band name, yeah. Technically fetus.
That could work too. You can form that band and then go back to your comedy club and then play music, but secretly stare at all of them.
I don't think I'm ever going back to the comedy club. I don't think it's gonna happen. And you know what? Like, even if, like, on the off chance that someday I make it, you know, I'm not going to remember them. I'm going to go out of my way to like shit on that club or just never do comedy. If you ever decide to do comedy, man, don't do it in Oregon where, like,
I know.
The thought is just making me physically cringe that I can't even finish the sentence.
I know when you get famous, you're gonna walk back in that club looking very smug, and none of the people that were there before are gonna be there, and you're gonna be like, "This was a waste of time."
Right. I'm gonna buy the building, and I'm just gonna turn it into, like, a McDonald's or something more useful.
I'm gonna buy this comedy club and turn it into a better comedy club. Like, tear it all down, get rid of everything, and then rebuild it as another comedy club.
You know, if I got that rich, I would just buy the people there. I would just buy them and just.
I don't think we're allowed to do that anymore. We're not allowed to buy.
You know what? You know, if you're rich enough, there'll be a way, for sure.
Well,
you can still buy people. Like, the president has Melania. Okay,
nice.
She's not there because she wants to be.
That's sad.
She was mailed. She's a mail order.
I thought you said she was a male. That would...
Well, you know, gender identity is pretty fluid nowadays, so she might be.
I guess we cannot assume her gender.
No. Not in this good Christian comedy club. It's not even like a Christian comedy. That's the thing. It's not a religious community at all. They're just really, really sensitive, you know. And I guess that's the problem with my sense of humor, you know. I'm somewhere in between where, like, you know, my comedy club, or, you know, those kind of people, like, let's say like liberals would call me part of the problem, but, like, really conservative people would call me a snowflake. There's somewhere in between that is where I am.
So you're either you're between part of the problem and a snowflake.
That's why, you know what, that makes it hard to make friends, you know. There's no gray area in between retard is hate speech and
it's your everyday speech.
Like, white people are the superior race or something, you know, just like, there's no gray area, it's just like either or.
Wow. So I'm not sure where I fall in that then.
See, it's at least where I am, you know. It's just,
It sounds like you need to move.
I know, I probably will. That's the thing, I love Oregon so much. I love it. Like, I love the weather. It's, like, the perfect climate for me. There's no sales tax. Like, Oregon is great. I don't know how I would do in Portland if the culture's any different, if at all.
Portland seems like...
Also, sorry, what now?
I was going to say, Portland seems like it'd be a pretty cool place.
Yeah, but, like, the farther north you go, like, the worse it gets. So, I don't know, I'm sure I've said a lot of things that weren't retard that would have, like, pissed them off equally as much.
I don't know. My thing is, I personally heard your joke because I stalked you before this whole thing. And I thought it was funny.
Thank you. That's so reassuring.
So I don't know how much my opinion matters, but I actually thought it was quite funny. And I've heard way worse things than that.
pretty sure I dropped the C word during the same act. So it's just like, you know, why is cunt not hate speech, but retarded? I don't know. I'm just done fighting it at this, like, because I can defend it, you know, I can defend myself, and I can get all worked up about it, which I probably will every time I talk about it. But in the end, like, I still don't have a job, you know.
At the end of the day, what does it really do for your money?
Right, you know, even like my blood pressure, you know, it doesn't do anything for my blood pressure either.
They have pills for that.
They have pills for that.
I mean, you can talk about it and then take the pills, so it'll even it out. Every time I, and I feel like the conversation keeps like going back to the whole retard thing every now and then, because it's the theme of my life at the moment, and you know, in a month it might not even matter. But every time I do, oh my gosh, like I'm turning red, like I want to do push-ups, like I'm over it. I really want to know what it's like to do stand-up in different areas where, I don't know, they're not so, it's this very specific culture here. Yeah.
And then I just can't get on board with it.
From what you just said, I feel like you need to go to the gym and then think about that really hard, and then you'll come out of the gym extremely buff.
That might be a good motivator. You know, I haven't been working out as much as I want to.
There you go.
I think this is that's a good mindset to get into. Just think about retard gate. Just think about retard gate.
That's all you gotta do. And then you'll come out of there, you'll have a beach body, and then you won't even be stressed about the retard thing anymore.
I won't have a care in the world. Yeah, if you're hot, you know, you don't have to worry about anything. The world is your oyster.
Is that the message we're going to give the children now?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have a problem. It's just, I don't care what you do or what you fill your brain with. Just be hot. The world is yours.
The world is your oyster. Do with it as you want.
Absolutely.
Because you're hot. That's a great lesson for the children.
Put that in your Twitter bio. Just be hot.
And if you can't be hot, then work harder. That's the message.
Yeah, there we go. How did you find trending?
You what?
How did you find trending?
One of the Facebook groups, like the top person on trending is, I believe it's Chrissy.
Okay.
Like, if you look on the side, it'll tell you the top people.
Right.
And I met her on the Facebook group, and she was telling everybody about it.
Oh, okay.
How did you find it?
Reddit. Yeah, I was looking on things like, there's a subreddit called Unknown Videos, which is kind of garbage because, you know, obviously people would only go there to post their own stuff and not look at other stuff.
Yeah.
But they were advertising. I think training was made by the subreddit to help promote videos, so that's where I found it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Shockingly enough.
I'm not really sure how much trending is really doing for anyone at the moment.
It's gotten me a few subscribers, actually. It helps me a little bit. It's not like a truly tangible difference, but, you know, it does force people to be interactive while also posting, so
yeah. It's
kind of a nice dynamic.
I do like the fact that the views you get on there also go on your actual YouTube account.
I feel like if more people knew about it, it would be, you know, a whole lot better. It might blow up, but...
See, there's that dilemma again. The people who are on trending are the people who are trying to post things on trending.
Right. And that's, I think they kind of fixed that by the fact that, you know, they make it harder for you to post if you're not interacting.
Yeah. Or
at least they give you, like, ridiculously long wait times in between posting. And by that, you know, I have gained a few subscribers, and, you know, I found a couple YouTubers that I actually really enjoy on trending. Like, have you seen Skinny Samurai?
I think I have.
I think he's like Australian or something. I don't know where the accent is from. I can't tell the difference truly between like, okay.
You might be British.
It might be. I'm very bad at picking out accents. Like, until they tell me, I'm just gonna take a wild guess. But I want to say, he said Maccas. He referred to McDonald's as Maccas. So
was that your
Australian
Australian
That's an Australian term. So that's my best guess. But he's just like a troll. Like, he's a total troll. I'm a fan. He's like a 19-year-old kid, but he has like really good production quality and a whole green screen, and it's just you click on it and it's just absurdity. It's just pure absurdity. And you subscribe for the pure point of just being trolled.
You know what I kind of hate? It's when you go on YouTube or something and you see like a 12-year-old and they have better like quality cameras and background than you have. Like, I'm an adult with a job. How do you have all this better stuff than me?
Oh, right, yeah. These rich parents. That's what you need. And you know what? They're probably rich because they were hot.
That's the key to life.
The world gives you everything.
Does that mean we're not hot?
Yeah, no, yes. That's what that means.
Darn. This whole time, I never knew.
It's a hard pill to swallow, man, but,
Darn.
So you have like a bunch of different channels. What is your main channel?
My main channel is SPADE Life ENT, which stands for entertainment.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I definitely saw that one. I was watching it with my boyfriend, and we were looking, because we thought you were a troll at first. We were trying to figure out if you were a troll.
I'm a cool troll.
You're cool. Because we were watching your channel intro, and we were just cracking up. And it was just because, like, you put, like, your face on, like, a poster or something in the background. And we're just like, is this guy for real or whatever? So I had no idea how this whole, like, podcast thing was gonna turn out. Like, who is this person? Who am I gonna be talking with?
Wow. Are you talking about my channel intro?
Yes.
I put my face on a poster?
You did something with, like, the green screen.
Oh.
And
yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
It was copied your face or something.
Yeah, it was the Resident Evil Welcome to the Family thing, when I put my face on the thing in the background.
Oh, yeah, that's what that was. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
We were just cracking up at, like, the absurdity. It was just a
I was trying
hilarious editing.
I was trying to go for one of those, like, those really old cheesy commercials that you used to see at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that's what we were. That's the first thing we thought of.
Yeah, that's what I was going
for. And, like, you totally captured the idea, too. I kind of, like, I don't know if this was on purpose, but, like, part of your body was, like, cut off on the green screen.
That was totally on purpose. No, not really.
Was it not?
No.
Oh, my God. Because it looked like it was. It looked like it was, like, done intentionally, just for, like, the sake of trolling. And, like, I like it better that way. Like, I don't think it would have been the same if you were perfectly within, like, the parameters.
I mean, honestly, I edited it, and I saw that happened, and I just kept editing.
No, like, I'm glad you did, because it totally adds to the novelty.
Well, I'm loving everything that you're telling me right now. Tell me more about me.
Right? Yeah. Well, I had to do stalking too, because if I didn't,
yeah, you
gotta do your research, man. I don't blame you.
You gotta know who the random person is who asked you to be on a podcast randomly.
Yeah, because I had to do it because there was a chance that, like, what if you were just some dude, like, with a headset and just no microphone, just trying to start a podcast just from absolutely nothing.
Hey, those are life goals. I didn't always have a microphone. Well,
start from the bottom, man.
Yeah. Well, did you listen to some of the podcasts?
Yeah, I did. I listened to, I don't remember There was one with a girl in it. I don't remember her name.
There's a lot of them with a girl in it.
She was something about a slug.
Oh, I think that was the latest one. If it was Salty Snail.
No,
Salty Snail.
Yeah, Salty Snail, is that what it is?
Yes, my British friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was listening to, I put that on the background just to see what the vibe was. But I didn't take enough notes because I had to ask if we are allowed to say bad words, so.
But I'm guessing you enjoyed it, so that's why you're on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like the idea of the whole podcast of, supporting small YouTubers. And I'm, hopefully if people, I can now say, like, I was on a podcast, guys. Like, I can say that, like, hey, guys, like, check out this thing. And it actually has, I'm surprised you actually have, you have a good microphone, so it looks like a really professional setting, and I'm honestly surprised you don't have more views.
Well, I think I started it, 3 months ago, and then I put 2 up, and then, for a month and a half, I didn't put anything up. So I'm kind of just starting back up again, this month.
Okay.
So that's probably why I don't have more views and subscribers. I'm hoping that's the reason, and that's the only reason, and I start getting more soon.
Right on. Yeah, it's so hard to gain traction. It really is.
But once you do it, never
what can you
stops.
do besides? What now?
I said once you do it, never stops. I hope. That's my hope.
Ooh, as long as you can get, as long as you get started, hopefully you grow. But other than that, if some people can't even get it off the ground. If you don't have people on, I don't know, people that supporting you, it's especially hard. Because I have a lot of people that just don't even, I'll post it on, hey, my Instagram people, link in bio, and then, the whole post just gets zero attention. Nobody even acknowledges that I posted it there.
I feel you on that. It's people you actually know in real life don't give a crap about they don't give a crap about what you're doing.
No, it doesn't. I'm really shocked because these are people. No one warns you about what's going to happen after high school, right? Because you don't know that these people that you spend every day with, these people that you have cried with and hugged and had sleepovers with, one day are going to go out of their way to delete you on their otherwise completely inactive Facebook because they got a new haircut and they're feeling fresh.
They new haircut, who this?
Yeah, right. They're just new people. They just don't give a shit. It's I hugged you, motherfucker. You told me about your problems. Why are we not friends anymore?
Do you not hug many people?
I'm not, I don't get out much. It's not even that, but just people that you just thought you were really close with, and you try to connect after life after high school and just maintain friendships. They don't give a shit, and it is over, and you lose. You never know how many people you just kind of hang out with for convenience.
Yeah, it's because you were in the same place at the same time doing the same thing, and that's why you became friends. And then right after you're done doing that thing, you drift away very quickly.
Yes, a lot of the people, I was so shocked that we just don't talk anymore, but luckily I had a few friends that, we still maintain. Do you have any friends from high school still, or are they all gone?
From high school, I have 1, 2, I'm counting them. I have one specifically from high school who I still talk to almost every day. And I have one who I was in high school with, but I knew before high school that I talked to.
Okay.
So basically,
I don't go that far back.
Only 2.
You're better off than most people.
I guess.
Or college?
I never went to college. Thanks for blowing my secret.
No. I didn't mean to expose
Now everyone knows I'm a fraud.
I hope it makes me feel any better. Like, I had to take a huge break off college because I couldn't afford it. I had a car accident and I couldn't get a new car for several months, so I had to take several terms. So I'm very far behind as far as college goes now. And also, it's not what they crack it up to be, you know? As long as you have some talents, or you have at least a rock, you know, so to speak, or something carrying you. Not everybody needs college.
You keep bringing up rocks. What's up with you and rocks?
Well, you know, that's how you, that's the key to, I don't know what that's the key to. It's not really the key to anything. It's just, I was just referencing something I said earlier. That's really all that is.
Well, I've gone to a college, not to be a student, but I visited a college with people who are actually in the college, and I've experienced some of the college life. So, I mean, that's all you're really there for. You're not there to learn anything. Right. Because you learn everything out in the real world.
Yeah. No, you can learn a lot of things. I mean, you know, part of me, I felt for a while that college was holding me back. I still feel like college is holding me back. I still feel like there's a lot of, you know, aspects of college. I'm not learning what I want to, or I already know this, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of reinforcing things I kind of already knew. But, you know, it depends on what you want to do, honestly. Was there anything that you thought about doing in college?
Film.
Film, okay. Yeah, I know a lot of film students.
Studying that in high school, and I thought I might study it in college, but I didn't go to college, so.
I don't know if film's one of those things you have to go to college for. You know, if you have an eye, there's a lot of things you can learn on the internet, or just being inspired and just trial and error.
Yeah, I found out a lot of that from Casey Neistat.
From what?
From Casey Neistat.
I don't know who that
is. He's a YouTuber. Come on.
I don't know.
He's a guy who makes things.
It's a guy who makes things.
Yeah. He's not important right now.
Okay.
I mean, to some people.
I know a lot of film students. My best friend is a film student, and he's a really talented director. He's amazing on editing. He's a paid editor. And honestly, I think that guy's going big one day. But he's doing all this stuff in college and dealing with these other people who are also taking all these film classes, and he's getting paired with these just absolute idiots. Dare I say retards. They just don't have an eye for it. They just have these terrible ideas. It's kind of sad because, you know, there's so much potential in this one guy, and he's just surrounded by people, when he deserves something, you know, that, you know, more his speed.
Yeah.
And that's just, what happens when you know, I used to do theater in high school, so when you grow up, everybody you know is a film major, or, you know, a theater major, or something along that lines.
Yeah, I didn't know any people who inspired to be anything, because technically, well, I'm from Chicago, so everybody was just trying to survive. So no one had any real dreams of the future.
Right.
It was more can we get out of the hood, and then we'll figure things out.
Right, yeah, I can't imagine. That sounds so rough.
Yeah, that was my plan. I just needed to get out of the hood, and then I'll figure life out.
So where are you at now?
I'm in Michigan.
Is it better than where you were?
It's way better.
Good. What are your plans now?
First to do this YouTube thing. I'm trying build up on it. I'm going to finish getting my massage therapy license. So,
massage therapy?
Yeah, I started on it, but now I just gotta finish it. And then hopefully the YouTube thing blows up, and then I can start writing books and movies I planned on doing.
Are you working on any books now?
I keep trying, but I keep losing motivation.
I feel you. Yeah, books are not just like an overnight thing, like a YouTube video. Like books are, I mean, they require like a year at least to write, and then in the end, what's the payout? Maybe nobody's gonna buy it. You never know.
Yeah, that like I write scripts all the time, so like I have a notebook full of scripts that I plan on making into YouTube videos. Kind of like the one you saw of the intro thing. I actually wrote that out.
Yeah, do more stuff like that. Like honestly. Like people love like cheesy stuff where like even if it's intentionally
Bad.
like even if you do that like the thing with the cutoff like on purpose, like that's genius. Like people love that stuff because I know I did.
Well, now you've given me hope and something to inspire to do. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. No, like if it's intentionally cringe, I love cringe comedy. I'm not saying yours was cringe. I'm saying if it's like if you try to be cringe, like that's a good idea. Like nothing gets reactions like a good old fashioned cringe. I do some of that in my own stuff sometimes, but I don't go too hard on it because I don't know. I'm not too good at that.
I understand that, and I think I have the potential to be cringy. Like
everybody has the potential to be cringy. I'm cringy all the time.
I mean, like on purpose, like funny cringy. Hopefully.
See, that is like I love. Have you ever seen like really campy stuff? Like I don't know. Was it The Disaster Artist? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
No.
That is what it's called.
The Room, the original one.
Oh well, that's what the other one's called.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen like I didn't see the new one, but I've got like an hour into the first one because I was watching it with my friend, and we laughed so hard. I don't think I've ever laughed harder than I have at The Room. It was my first time watching it. But especially just because we actually took the time to analyze certain scenes. Mm-hmm. So we would pause it a bunch of times, which is why we only got an hour through before she had to go home. But we would pause it at certain times, just in time to see some of the actors just looking directly into the camera. And it wasn't on purpose, because it was clearly not on purpose. But the guy looks at the camera, and it just felt like he was looking into your soul. And we stopped it, and we were just, oh, wow. Like he's looking at me.
If you want a funny, cringy movie, I got one for you. If you have Netflix, go watch Kung Fu Fury.
Kung Fu Fury?
Yeah, it is hilarious, and it is super cheesy, but it is hilarious. There's even
I'll have to check that out.
Hitler's even in it, so go watch it.
Hitler?
Hitler.
Hey, Hitler. Wow, how'd they get him to get in on that movie?
They went back in time and offered him a role.
That sounds a little convoluted, but I think that was an artistic choice worth pursuing.
Hey, it worked. It was funny.
That's good. I'll have to look at that. I love that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about campy stuff?
I love campy stuff. That's what that movie is. That movie is super campy.
Have you seen Gotham, the TV show?
Oh yeah, I watch it all the time.
Okay. I didn't finish the entire season or anything. I meant the series. I haven't finished the series or anything, but no, I that is caused so much inspiration. I am so inspired by that. Just of like it's some of it is, I feel like it's not good, but then like just when you think it's just garbage, they turn it around and I feel like they show you that they did it on purpose, and I'm like, wow, I'm the idiot. Okay. Like, it makes me feel stupid. Like, that's one of the very few shows that I've ever watched. I really don't watch a lot of anything unless somebody forces me to. And that's the only reason I got into it, is because my boyfriend had to sit down and be like, hey, like, we need to have something to watch on Netflix. You can't just play Last of Us online all day, to have some form of linear entertainment.
Do people force you to do things very often?
I'm a very stubborn lady. I don't do a lot of things that I don't want to do, but, sometimes I just gotta take a deep breath and come back down to earth because, I wanna pretend to be a human sometimes at least. I don't watch TV, like I don't even own a TV, or, cable. There has to be some kind of screen, so of course I own a TV, but, I don't, watch a lot of stuff, unless it's in the background, I'll listen to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just feel like I'm so out of touch, like, people try to talk to me about shows and I just have no idea, so I had to make it actually a point to just sit down and just get on Earth with the rest of you guys, and just so I can have something to talk about, like, do you play video games, or, do you watch this? Because 2 years ago, I can tell you, I was so much cooler than I was, but I hated video games. I'd never touched a controller, and I hated just the very idea of them and anybody who played them. And I don't know why, I just felt like it was just such a waste of time and you could be doing anything else. And then I picked up a controller and, I saw how good, like, the story and, like, everything could be, and the voice acting and just how a lot of the times games are better than movies,
Yeah.
I would argue that most of the times, like, sometimes video game actors are better than actual people actors. And from there, like, my life just was a downward spiral. I was like, okay, you win. I like this stuff. I like games. And I've just been a fuck girl ever since.
Awesome. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. The human club.
Yeah.
I have to have something that, like, connects me to the rest of the world. I gotta have something to talk about.
So, we are at 1 hour and 34 minutes into the podcast.
Jesus.
This is officially the longest podcast I've ever done.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well,
Which means
there's a lot to talk about. I don't blame you.
It's quite enjoyable. Quite an enjoyable podcast. We're gonna wrap the podcast up at the moment.
Sounds good.
But I do have some stuff I want to discuss with you afterwards.
Okay.
So, at this point of the show, we're going to have you tell us all your information, like your social security number and your address, and just for everyone out there to know all your where they can find you.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Okay. Well, gosh, where do I start? So, like, wait, what? Is there anything going to be, like, in the description immediately? Or, like, what kind of stuff do people usually promote?
Like your, whatever you want to, your channel, your...
Oh, okay, everything, okay. Okay, well, I don't know where we're starting. Alright, so my channel is Comedian, like comedian, but I'm Ann, so Comedian. I'm also on Facebook, so everything, if you find my channel, honestly, everything's just super easy to find if you can just get to my YouTube first. So yeah, if you want, go ahead and follow me. I don't have any followers on pretty much anything, so go check it out. I need you.
You hear that, everyone? She needs you.
I need you.
I will put a link to your channel in my description, so it's easy for them to find.
Thank you so much.
Yep. And with that said, I will catch you all on the flip side, because I'm out.
Right on.